Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, iRacing fans from around the world, welcome to our Saturday night broadcast of the weekly pad race brought to you by PADD.org. People Against Distracted Driving. This is KMATV. I am Scott Kolovic, your announcer for the evening. As I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, we do this weekly. You should be doing it every day you drive. People Against Distracted Driving. That is our goal tonight, to educate you about the dangers of distracted driving. And as we progress through tonight's race, we're going to talk about PAD. I'm going to give you some interesting facts, some places to go to check out information about PAD. I'm going to tell you the story of Nikki Clenny and how PAD came to life. Very tragic story, but out of all bad things, something good will arise. And again tonight, we run these Chevy Silverados and Toyota Tundras every Saturday night to remember Nikki Clenny and all the fallen angels, all the young women, children, men, ladies and gentlemen that have lost their lives to a distracted driving incident. And I tell you what, it comes in all shape, form. Phones, rubbernecking, saw a lady driving with a dog on her lap. What is that about? And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if I can leave you tonight with one thought, it is a reminder to stay focused. Tonight we are out here running the Talladega trucks, the Chevy Silverados, and the Toyota Tundras. We are running at Talladega, our 2.653 mile track. We've got a hot track tonight sitting at 98 degrees. We're going to see how that shapes up for tonight. We've got 36 drivers out here tonight taking that field. Air temperature is sitting down at about 73 degrees. But I tell you what, I keep looking at that track temperature at 98. That's going to be a warm one for the boys to run out tonight. We've got the guys from Crow's Nest joining us out here, as well as the gentleman from KMA Racing. Going to be some good team-on-team action as the night progresses on. We're going to talk to a few drivers, get some more information about PAD. Hopefully, we'll get a chat in with Gary Whitmer Jr., owner of GW Graphics. He was the originator of that PAD video we saw there at the very beginning of tonight's broadcast. So a big shout out there to Gary Whitmer Jr., owner of GW Graphics. He'll be out here racing side by side with his father, Gary Whitmer Sr. We've also got Jimmy Crow and J.D. Crow in the house. I believe they're brothers, owner of Crow's Nest. And we're going to get to know the Crow's Nest guys as the night originates. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our starting field up. We're going to take a look at that qualifying grid. Out there on that front line, we've got David Anderson with a 54.590, side by side with Donald Stewart with a 54.658. Very impressive starting times out there here in the weekly pad race. J.D. Crow 54.660, A.J. McCarron 54.679 for third and fourth. Fifth place belonging to Edward Bray. Sixth place belonging to Jesse Unruh. Holding strong in seventh, we've got Jack Walls, side by side with Ben Gear. Ninth place takes on Ernie Williams Jr. 10th place, Rick Seabrands. Craig Kenny sitting in 11th. And Les Levy pulling it off in 12th. 13th position belongs to the man himself, Jimmy Crow, owner of Crow's Nest, Paul Witt, sitting in 14th. Wayne Feldman, Johnny Woodruff, 15th and 16th. Brandon Herndon, sitting in 17th, and Art Peck, riding along in 18th position. Ronnie German for 19th. Luke Luttrell, solid in 20th. 21st belongs to Rusty Farrell, Luke Gray in 22nd. David Casey 23rd. And Gary Whitmer Jr. sitting in 24th. Gary Whitmer Jr., owner of GW Graphics. Michael Johnson for 25th. David Williams back in 26th. Frederick Hofstetter, Ivan Garcia 27th and 28th. Michael Spell in 29th. Jay Dargett in 31st. John Henderson in 32nd. Gary Whitmer Sr. in 33rd. Joel Guy in 34th. Kevin Scott Nelson and Chris Hogue in 35th and 36th. There is your starting grid out here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to kick off 100 laps out here tonight in the weekly race for Pad 266. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, after tonight's race, go to padd.org. Find out more information about Pad. The great things that Pad is doing out there tonight. Pace car is in, and away we go. Kicking off 100 laps. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I do expect some very tight racing as these 36 drivers take off tonight. They will have to make a mandatory pit stop about every 25 laps. And in last week's pad race, pitting came around to everything. I mean, it was all she wrote. For track position, for the fuel strategy. Last week's race did win under caution. Jesse Unruh was last week's winner. A little bit of pressure out here tonight on Jesse. Hopefully trying to pull off a two-peat back-to-back. Off to a very smooth start out here tonight as the drivers near to complete their first lap of 100. Trucks up to full speed. Donald Stewart on that outside lane, currently in second position. Running at about a speed of 185, 184. David Anderson out there on that front line. Positions 1 through 4 currently belonging to the drivers from Crow's Nest. Donald Stewart doing a great job on that outside lane. Looking very good in that paint job. Crow's Nest all over the truck of the number 78 Donald Stewart. Looking very sharp out there. In very good position along with A.J. McLaren on his heels in a third position. Again, right now, early on in tonight's race on lap 2, Crow's Nest took the qualifying field of the top 4 in very good position. But I tell you what, on that inner lane, third truck back to number 66 of Edward Bray. Looking for a hole. They try to take the Fallen Angel, Mickey Flenny, Chevy Silverado up to the front. Or as we do move around tonight's race, folks, you will notice a theme here. You will notice purple across the board. Purple was the favorite color of Mickey Flenny. Now, who is Mickey Flenny? Mickey Flenny is the daughter of Mike Flenny. Mike Flenny is founder of PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Some years ago, Mickey Flenny lost her life, innocent, backseat, a passenger, but the driver of the vehicle made the unwise decision to text and drive, obviously having a thought that looking at her phone was much more important than looking at the four-way stop she was coming up to, and by being distracted running that four-way stop, crash ensued. Backseat passenger Nikki Clenny lost her life due to her driver's bad decision. Mike Clenny vowed that he would do everything possible throughout his end of the world to fight the dangers of distracted driving. And thereby he created PADD, PADD.org, People Against Distracted Driving. Very fine organization. I'd like you to check them out if you can. Show your support to PADD. They've got wristbands, t-shirts, bumper stickers, but most of all, folks, they've got literature and numbers. And these are not made-up numbers. These are factual numbers talking about the number of lives that are lost yearly to the dangers of distracted driving. So we come together here once a week out here at Talladega. The guys put on their finest shades of purple, tighten up their belts, and try to put on a good show out here for our viewers. David Anderson leading his second lap. Donald Stewart leading his second lap, 2 and 2. David Anderson led lap 5 just by a nose, and I'll tell you what, that's how tight I expect these races to be tonight. Last week's winner, the number 133 of Jesse Unruh, taking his time, plenty of time to get the job done. Dashed out in purple top and a green and yellow bottom. Nice looking paint job on the number 133 of Jesse Unruh. Ben Gear in the Beanie Weenie number 4, hot on his tail. Now we've got to get Ben Gear and Edward Bray hooked up. Like I said, folks, this is going to be all about teamwork out here tonight. Ben Gear, Edward Bray, both drivers running for a KMA, but I tell you what, they are in a swarm of crow's nest right now, and they are getting split apart. Number 19, Rick Brands on the rear end of the Beanie Weenie number 4. They're coming up 3 wide on the outside. We've got the number 98 of Paul Witt trying to make a move, but he's solo. It's not going to quite happen. Paul Witt beginning to drop back. No, he's got a little bit of help. He has got some help coming. But I tell you what, they are losing speed on that outside lane. Number 117, John Woodruff, 3 wide with the 98. 98 trying to make his move one more time. Early on, 3 wide here at Talladega on lap 7 of 100. Gary Whitmer Jr. coming up that center lane onto the rear end of the 117. As I mentioned, Gary Whitmer Jr., huge advocate for a PADD. Has attended the Walk with PADD. Has met Matt plenty. An honor there in itself. Gary Whitmer into a 3 wide position with the number 13 onto his outside. 13 being driven by David Williams. We've got 4 drivers up into that high lane trying to make a charge towards the front here as we do cross over to lap 8. Gary Whitmer, John Woodruff, the number 5 and the 117 really nowhere to go as they come up to the rear end of the number 62 of Les Levy. Well, the only place to move it up is that 3 wide position being led by the number 98. He's almost side by side with the number 19 of Rick Brands. That third lane just not being able to see any daylight up there towards the front. Donald Stewart, David Anderson still putting on a show up at the front. A little bit of speed coming from the 98 as he approaches up to the side of the number 4 of Ben Gear. 3 wide for Ben Gear in the middle with the 83 Jack Walls on the outside of the 98 Paul Witt. They have got a run, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be 3 wide with the leaders. Boy, I tell you what, I don't know where Paul came from. He came from out of nowhere, and we are fully charged 3 wide with the front of the pack. Number 13, David Williams, the tail truck for this third lane. There comes Ben. Donald Stewart drops down for the lead. Drops down in front of the number 44 of David Anderson, opening up that door for the number 18 of A.J. Macron and the number 133 of Jesse Unruh. Third lane falling apart one more time. Huge gap in that middle lane. Ben Gear keeping his distance. We are still 3 wide up in front. Drivers doing an amazing job out here, still operating as a solid pack and a whole unit. But near the back of the field, we do have a few drivers that I do think are going to hang back. Moving further back into the field, looking at the number 52 of Gary Whitmer into 26th place, riding along with John Henderson, Kevin Scott Nelson, and Joel Guy. Now, if I know anything about Kevin and John and Joel, they are riders of the back of the pack. They prefer to stay in the back of the pack, try to pull off a sort of a pitting strategy. They've got David Casey along with them, as well as the number 72 of Ivan Garcia. So here in the rear of the field, we've got 6, possibly 7 drivers from KMA Racing opting to stay in the rear of the field. But I'd say, but once those pit stops start circulating, that may very easily change. Number 28 of Rusty Farrell sitting in 20th position. Rusty Farrell, a regular in the weekly pad races, brought to you by KMA Racing and Pad. Broadcast live on KMA TV. The 3 wide has definitely come to a halt here on lap 12. Drivers settling back down to double file. Donald Stewart down onto that inside lane. David Anderson on the outside. Donald has led 8 laps of the beginning 12 early on. Donald off on a great run tonight. But we've still got the Crow's Nest drivers taking on the top 5 spots. Position 5 belonging to J.D. Crow at the number 17. But he's got the number 66 of Edward Bray and Ben Gear side by side. And I tell you what, once these 2 drivers get lined up, that's going to be all she wrote. Ben Gear started 8th, currently up into 5th position. Then in the Van Camp's Beanie Weenie truck. My goodness. On along with the number 19 of Rick Branch, hot on his tail. 133, a little bit of a stumble right there. Gains back position onto the rear end of the 18 of A.J. Macron. Donald and A.J. side by side, tighter than a hair in a biscuit. I tell you, you've got to have a lot of trust in your competitor to draft this close. Crow's Nest putting on a mighty fine show. Number 25, Ernie Williams Jr., side by side with the number 13 of David Williams. John Woodruff, Nationwide, is on your side. Now, he started out here tonight in 16th position. He's currently worked his way up to 13th. He's got Gary Whitmer Jr. hot on his tail. Les Levy and the number 62 down 1 spot to 13th. Crow's Nest Motorsports on the side of the number 62 alongside the 117. Gary Jr. coming into focus. Gary side by side with 126 of Wayne Feldman. Wayne Feldman, a veteran driver. Getting a little bit of help from Rusty Farrell in the number 28 Chevrolet. Jay Dargett down on the inside in the Mastercraft Chevy Silverado. Hey, a big shout out there to Jay Dargett, veteran, showing his support the troops on the rear end of the Mastercraft Silverado. We want to thank Jay for his service. '19th position belonging to Jimmy Crow in the number 16 Fanatec. Jimmy Crow looking like he wants a little bit of that 3-wide action. Nobody really to go with him. Back down to the middle. If he can get hooked up with Craig Kenny, that would be a good run to go 3-wide. Craig Kenny, he was born to run 3-wide, loves that 3-wide. But Craig Kenny not quite able to get up to the rear end of Jimmy Crow. Side by side with the number 29 of Luke Gray. Luke Gray driving the Sinclair Chevy Silverado tonight. Side by side with Kenny. 20th and 21st position on lap 17 of 100. Ivan Garcia, David Casey, Gary Whitmer. Again, straight line formation for the KMA guys near the rear of the field, and they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them strong back here in the rear. Definitely thinking they may be up to a gang of them going into pit road. I'm going to tell you, that's what you got to do out here. Strategy, teamwork, that is everything. Art Peck near the rear of the field in position 28th. Rear end damage early on. Looks like he'd kind of caved in a little bit there, hanging on to the rear end of Joel Guy. But I fear Art Peck is going to lose that draft. Art Peck running for Crow's Nest. Definite damage on the rear end of that Silverado. Going to slow him down a little bit. But I tell you what, folks, look at that pack up there in front. That is a sight to behold. Riding onto the rear end of the 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. And this is that little pack of KMA drivers I was talking about, being led up front by Ivan Garcia. Just hanging right off the tail end of that pack. Not really wanting to get up there and get mixed up in it, but you want to stay close enough where if something happens, you can dodge it, you can get around it, but you stay up to speed just in case that caution does not fly. Seen it happen a million times, folks. If there is a spinning truck on some backstretch, these trucks are upwards of 180, 185 miles per hour. 1 or 2 spinning trucks on the backstretch, they're not going to throw that caution out. So you got to be careful. You got to make sure you hang on to that truck. Ivan looking like he might be wanting to do something. They have caught that pack possibly a little bit too close for the taste of Dave Acacia. As we hear Dave throttling down, Ivan Garcia is caught right up to the rear end of the number 29 of Luke Gray. Brandon Herndon in the number 131, proudly displaying his colors for Crow's Nest. Luke and Brandon and Jimmy Crow lined up 19th, 20th, and 21st. Good positioning throughout the pack for all of these drivers. They've got each of their teammates. They've got some up in the front, some in the middle, some in the rear. Very good strategy going on out here tonight. '90 and the 28 up high, 117, and Gary Whitmer in the number 5, Mickey Clanny Foundation. And there's a really nice shot of that number 5, Gary Whitmer Jr., all decked out in purple with pad logos across the hood, across the side, showing his support for the Mickey Clanny Foundation. Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer Jr. '25 and '62 side-by-sides, Ernie and Les. Really nowhere for these drivers to get out and go anywhere right now. Full traffic. Thinking about some green flag pit stops coming up very, very soon. We guesstimated about lap 25, 28, right in the late 20 area. We're sitting on lap 22. I'm predicting some green flag pit stops coming out tonight. And once those green flag pit stops come out, I tell you what, that's going to change everything. Ben Gear finally making his way up to the front of that pack in the number 4, Beanie Weenie. Beanie Weenie making her get done tonight. He is aside the number 18 of A.J. McCarron. Number 19, Rick Sabrans on the outside lane in 3rd. Donald Stewart in 4th down on the inside. And keep an eye on that number 13, David Williams. A little loose off the 19. Now these trucks carry so much suction going in and out of these 4 turns down here at Talladega. This is unbelievable. Once you get sucked up into that draft, you almost got to put your brakes on. You almost, but not quite. Look at the distance between the number 78 and the 18. Tighter than a hair in a biscuit. And I tell you what, Donald is one of the best out there right now. AJ in very good hands with the number 78. But who I'm just going to worry about, I'm going to worry about this outside lane, folks. Number 4, Ben Gear. Number 19, Rick Sabrans. Number 13, David Williams. A host of other drivers out there on that outside lane as we're beginning to get close to some green flag pit stops. Number 19 moving to the outside, dumping the number 4 up, Ben Gear. But up to the middle comes the number 25 of Ernie Williams Jr. And in goes Donald Stewart and company with the guys from Crow's Nest. Oh, Donald Stewart going for a ride. That's going to hurt. Donald Stewart, and caution is out. First caution comes out as the number 91 of Joel Guy making his way into pit road, but puts it into a little bit of a tailspin. Not able to quite regain control, but unfortunately that will be the first caution of the night. Donald Stewart having trouble. Ooh, right there, ladies and gentlemen. Major problems as we enter pit row all the way around. We're going to go on and back that up a little bit because I tell you, there's a lot more to this caution than what I thought. As drivers come down into pit row, several drivers caught up into it. And I tell you what, folks, that we've got a truck upside down in the field. And I tell you what, folks, that was a rough caution right there. Ernie Williams Jr. out there on the front line, though. Predicting Ernie Williams will go into pit road, leading him off into pit row. Well, I tell you what, folks, that caution there was a pretty ugly one. A whole lot of activity going on. Ernie and Rick making their way into pit row. Paul Witt, victim of the caution. Donald Stewart having to get a new truck as he nosedived it into pit row. Craig Kenny appears to be in good shape. Several drivers going to be taking on their backup Chevy Silverado or Toyota Tundra tonight here on lap 26. And I tell you what, pitting is a hard thing to do. It's hard enough, but when you're going in 3 or 4 wide, bound to have a caution coming out under those circumstances. And I told you early on that pit stops would make or break you. It's simple as that. Right there, a few drivers having a few problems making their way into pit road tonight. Looking at David Anderson. David has led 5 laps out here tonight. He is our lead car under caution. How about it, Dave Anderson? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, I tell you what a turn of events there. What happened with the entire race group? Seems like they forgot how to pit.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of pacing myself off the guy that was ahead of me, A.J. McCarron, coming into the pits. And I got run into from behind by one of my teammates. We were just talking about it.
Well, I tell you what, we took a look at it up there from the blimp angle, and there were actually 3 different incidences that had nothing to do with each other than the pit row. But I tell you what, the Crow's Nest drivers, they seem to really have a grip on tonight's race early on. Tell me a little bit about Crow's Nest.
You know, it's just a bunch of guys that race with each other all week long. And, you know, we come out here to these big races and, you know, we all get along really well. And it really shows on the track when, you know, we're all working together. We're letting them come down, you know, into our lane, you know, for pit stops. And, you know, we're talking strategy the whole time. And, you know, it's just a really great, you know, group of guys. And it's been a lot of fun.
All right, copy that. And real quick, tell me again about Famous Dave's.
Just like last week. So I Googled my name one time, my full name with my middle name in it. And turns out that David Wayne Anderson is my full name, and that's the same full name as the guy that started Famous Dave's barbecue restaurant. And not only that, but he's got a wife named Catherine, and I do too, and we are both part Choctaw Indian.
Nice. Tell you what, small world. All right, well, I tell you what, good luck to you, Dave. Good luck to the Famous Dave, Chevy Silverado, and good luck to Crow's Nest.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Small world indeed, therefore. David. Now, David has led 6 laps. He is underneath caution at the moment. Donald Stewart recovered back there in 4th position. I want to take a quick look at Donald Stewart. How about it, Donald? You got a copy?
Yes, got it, guys. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. Except for nose planting my truck into that wall back there.
We seen that. We had those cameras right on there. But I tell you what I also saw, I saw 5 or 6 drivers out there, not only from Crow's Nest, but from KMA, all diving in the pit row as a group. Talk to me about that group and what it's going to take out here tonight to win at Talladega.
Oh, yeah, you're going to need friends. You're going to need friends out here to win. And to be honest with you, I was right at .1 when I went in pit road. I actually ran out of fuel right when I entered my stall. So we ran it out dry as much as we could, and everybody had to get in.
All righty, copy that. Well, I'll tell you what, you went 25 laps before the first caution flew out. I think that's pretty impressive. Do you think where this caution has come out here right at pit row, I mean, it's really a brand new race. What do you think?
Absolutely. Everybody's still in their pit window for the next pit stop. Maybe got a lap or 2 because of this caution that we can go more, but it's really not going to change anything.
All righty, copy that. You looking good out there, Donald? We got a brand new paint job. Tell me about that brand new paint job real quick.
Yeah, Jesse Unruh painted. I think it's Jesse Unruh painted it up there for the boys, and it's just for some of us boys that don't have a truck ready for our personal right now. It's just like a generic thing for us, and so I just throwed it on here. Put the purple rims on it for pad. It's a support pad. Always got a support pad.
All right, copy that. We appreciate the support over here at Pad. Good luck to you and the boys from Crow's Nest.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you putting that on. You always sound good on the broadcast.
Thank you much. Donald Stewart right there in 4th position underneath our first caution of the night. And I tell you what a run they really had out here. A few drivers getting their lucky, a driver getting their lucky dog in. couple of drivers getting a wave by from damage acquired. And again, I want to go back to that first caution because, well, the caution we are underneath, it was rough. We had at least 9 drivers caught up into that caution, but they were in 3 different sections of the track. Up there in the front of it, we saw one driver didn't even go into pit row, and he was in trouble right there from day one. Drivers in the rear, well, so much for that rear strategy. Didn't quite work out, as we saw Joel Guy going for a spin. Up in the front, we saw Donald Stewart going nose first into the wall. David Anderson spoke that he got rear-ended. Again, cautions breed cautions. And that's exactly what we saw right there, except they were underneath the same caution. 3 little cautions inside 1 caution here tonight in the race for pad 266. But what a run they had. Lap 28 of 100. David Anderson leading 7 laps. A.J. McCarron leading 6. Donald Stewart so far leading 12 laps out here tonight. Nose first into the wall and is still in a 4th place position. I tell you what, that is extremely impressive for Donald Stewart. Kevin Scott Nelson in the number 224. He'll be restarting off in 9th position. He's going to be looking for some help from Gary Whitmer Sr. Gary Whitmer back into 13th spot. Underneath caution, I want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, after tonight's race, go to PADD.org, People Against Distracted Driving. Take a look around. We've got a lot of information there, information that one day may save your life. A few drivers making their way into pit road to top off. Kevin Scott Nelson, Dave Acacia, Gary Whitmer Jr., Wayne Feldman in that group as well. Ben Gear. Interesting strategy here as these drivers chose to go in on 1 to go, grouping themselves together near the rear of the pack. Going to have about a lap or 2 extra on fuel. And again, that pit strategy that we've been talking about, that is exactly the strategy that won it last week for Jesse Unruh. Drivers are lined up, double file. Coming down the backstretch into turn 3, we will be going green this time by. David and AJ side by side, both drivers running for Crow's Nest. Right now we have got the top 8 drivers. Top 8 drivers all belonging to Crow's Nest. David Anderson, A.J. McCarron, Donald Stewart, J.D. Crow, Jesse Unruh, Ernie Williams Jr., Rick Sabrans, Les Levy, and Jimmy Crow in 10th. Very impressive sitting right there, sitting very pretty. But I tell you what that means. That means that the KMA drivers are more so in the middle, more so in the rear of the field, but they are backed up as well. Jay Dargett, David Acacia, Wayne Feldman, Ben Gear, Gary Whitmer Jr., 20th through 25th. Pace car is in. And away they go. Number 44 on the inside.
Ready, green flag, green flag.
Number 18 on the outside. And what a push. The number 78 is given to the number 18 early on. And there is Jesse right there down on that inside lane. We're going to keep a close eye on Jesse tonight. Last week's winner, can he do it again? Donald Stewart running a little high off the rear end of AJ. Got to be very careful not to ride too high. These bumpers, they sometimes get a little bit of Vaseline on them. So they're going to slip, slide. You can very easily turn your partner. Lap 30 of 100, 70 laps to go. 14 lead changes. Just came out of our first caution. Right now we've got Crow's Nest making their way possibly to a very strong finish out here tonight. Now I may be a little bit premature in saying that, but I tell you what, these gentlemen, they're up here in front and on a super speedway. Well, that night, if you can get in front, you definitely want to stay in front. It's simple as that. Jimmy Crow running with Ivan Garcia. Jimmy in position 10. Jimmy Crow, owner of Crow's Nest. Ivan Garcia 1 lap down. Jimmy taking all the help he can get. And in his rearview mirror, he's got Gary Whitmer Sr., Johnny Woodruff coming hot and heavy down onto that inside lane. And they're side by side with the number 131, Brandon Herndon, and the number 83 of Jack Walls. A nice little race in itself for 11th position. And they are approaching the rear ends of Jimmy and Ivan pretty darn quick. It ain't going to be too long before this pack is bunched right back up as a huge, huge pack. Dropping on back through that field, we've got Luke Gray in the number 29 riding along in 15th position, and he's getting some help from the number 91 of Joel Guy. Joel Guy 1 lap down. Craig Kinney on that lead lap, and the number 66 of Edward Bray. Edward 7 laps down. I do believe Edward must have had some hardware malfunctions in order to fall 7 laps down early on. But I tell you what, you got to respect the guy. He's back out there doing it for Dell. Position 17 belonging to Kevin Scott Nelson. Now these are some of the drivers that are in the rear of the field that we're going to see working together as a team. The 224, the 111. 111 being driven by John Henderson. John Henderson 1 lap down. Four drivers 1 lap down, one driver 7 laps down. 24 drivers still on that lead lap. Jay Dargett riding solo tonight here on lap 34. Not a good place to be here at Talladega. You got to have a partner. And I tell you what a difference in speed it will make. Right now looking at Jay Dargett. Jay Dargett is running along at 173 miles per hour. 173. Take a look at J.D. Crow up to 189, 190. You're looking at about 15 miles per hour faster. You got to have a partner out here. David Anderson leading his 10th lap of the night. A.J. McCarron leading 9. Donald Stewart still up on that inside lane. Very comfortable spot for Donald Stewart. Gary Whitmer Sr. has worked his way up to 9th position with the help of the 117 of Johnny Woodruff. Side by side with the number 28 of Rusty Farrell. Ivan Garcia, lap traffic still riding along with those leaders, fully entitled to. Ivan, one of our veteran drivers here at KMA Racing. We always do a Pocono race for Ivan's birthday every year. Always look forward to that. Ivan, one of our veteran drivers, one of our older drivers. Currently is in 25th position. Joel Guy in the number 91, looking very sharp out there in the purple pad Chevy Silverado. And I tell you what, that is a ton of truck up there, ladies and gentlemen. Try to work your way around. We've got 3 wide action going on up front. That is the 131 of Brandon Herndon. Trying to take it 3 wide. Is taking it 3 wide. Trying to make that 3 wide work all the way up to the front. Edging closer to Donald Stewart. Getting some help from the number 29 of Luke Gray. Number 18 free to drop. Down goes Donald. Big move by Donald as he comes around the inside of A.J. McCarron. David Anderson up to the rear end. We are 3 wide for that lead one more time. Drivers really are doing an impressive job tonight. Seeing a lot of 3 wide. Now last week we saw that 3 wide early on for the first 20 laps, and then it died down to just double file and single file racing for the remainder of the night. Tonight, the boys have come to play. Jack Walls in 8th place, Jesse Unruh sitting in 7th. Craig Kinney in 12th, trying to make something happen with the number 62 of Les Levy. Number 36, Art Peck in 14th, riding along with the number 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr. Gary Whitmer Jr., no stranger to winning at a pad race. I know he's won 2, if not 3. Won the week before last here in the race for pad 266. Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer Jr. David Casey in the number 20. Staying with his teammates, Kevin Scott Nelson, John Henderson. Even doing a little bit of 3 wide racing near the back down to double file. There with that 131 Brandon Herndon trying so hard to make it happen up high. Just not quite able to get there. Number 83, Jack Walls in the middle. 28 coming up the middle with him. 28 of Rusty Farrell. Trying to make that number 28 as thin as possible. Squeezing up between the 83 and the 133. Nice run, 25. Ernie Williams Jr. having to back off a little bit. Back down to double file. Top lane gave out. Number 117 and the number 52, Johnny Woodruff and Gary Whitmer. So again, 13th and 14th position. Whoa, we've got trouble. That may spring a caution.
Caution, caution.
Caution is out. And we'll bring out our second caution of the night. We believe that was the number 13 that got shook loose. Number 13 going for a ride. Doing everything he can to pull it up against that wall. But I tell you what, just wasn't able to stop the ensuing traffic. Going to take a look at that up on our chopper angle. Got a little bit of a bump. Did a great job of keeping it up on that wall. But unfortunately, a few drivers in the back not quite so lucky. There's 131 Brandon Herndon goes for a ride. Jimmy Crow navigating his way through it. Unfortunately, Jimmy sustaining truck damage. He'll be getting his backup out of the garage. Jack Walls in the 83. Great job of working his way through that. And we'll bring out our second caution of the night. Donald Stewart, I would surmise, will be taking him off into pit row. And then goes the number 78 of Donald Stewart into pit row underneath our second caution of the night. 224, 126, Kevin Scott and Wayne Feldman making their way in as well. Race off of pit row. Gary Whitmer making his way out. Ooh, number 29. 29 having some problems making his way into pit row. 29, Luke Gray, trying to get her straightened out. Pitting very challenging out here tonight. Seen a lot of drivers out here having problems as they make their way in and out of pit row. Gary Whitmer Jr. in the number 5, making his way back out onto the track. Always like to talk to Gary Whitmer Jr., one of my favorite drivers out here within KMA Racing. Driving the Mickey Clenny Foundation, all decked up, brought his Sunday best. Looking very sharp out there in that truck tonight in the number 5. How about it, Gary Whitmer Jr.? You got a copy?
I got you, Scott.
All right. Did you survive through that second caution, Gary?
Yes, I did.
All right. Very good. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm talking to the folks here, and there's a little bit of pressure on you. I hope I'm not putting pressure on you, but I'll tell you what, you did win out here 2 weeks ago. You've won at least 2 pad races that I know of, so you're no stranger to winning a pad race. Tell us what it takes to do that.
Patience is the key. I usually start from the back and work my way to the front, and it seems to work out pretty good. Stay out of the front, stay out of the 3 wide.
Now, I tell you what, I'm seeing a lot of 3 wide up there at the front. I see you, Kevin, a couple other guys hanging down near the back. I'm seeing the strategy, but when is it go time? I mean, we're almost at the halfway point. At what time do you start making your way through that field?
Probably 75, lap 75, lap 80. That's when we go time.
All right, copy that. That would be after the 3rd mandatory pit stop. All right, Gary, tell us a little bit about PAD and tell us some of the things we can do to support PAD.
PAD is People Against Distracted Driving. It's also known as the Nikki Clenny Foundation, which was founded by Mike Clenny about 7, I think this makes the 7th year of Nikki Clenny's when she passed away due to an incident she wasn't behind the wheel, she was sitting in the back seat, and the person that was behind the wheel was texting and driving, ran through a stop sign and got T-boned. And you can find more information at pad.org. And also you can send donations for t-shirts, stickers, anything like that.
All right, a lot of good information right there. All right, Gary Whitmer Jr., also a big shout out there to GW Graphics and that great pad video you put up. I see you're getting ready to get back double file. Good luck to you, Gary.
Yep, thank you, Scott.
Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer Jr., position 16. He started 24th. Pretty good moving on up there for Gary Whitmer. But you know, he's talking about go time. Go time not be until, say, about lap 75. Well, I tell you what, he's got a way to go, and he's got to exhibit a tremendous amount of patience out here. And I also want to talk to Jimmy Crow and check in on Jimmy, how he's doing tonight. How about it, Jimmy? Have you got a copy?
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Scott. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. How are you, sir? You drove through a caution or two, I see.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm surviving.
All right, well, I tell you what, again, a great start out here tonight for Crow's Nest up there. Right now, what? You got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got the top 8 spots. Well, my goodness, who is Crow's Nest? Tell us.
Oh, yes, sir. We got Mr. Donald Stewart, Mr. David Anderson. We got Mr. A.J. McCarron, Mr. J.D. Crow, Rick Seabrand, Jesse Unruh, Ernie Williams Jr., and the list goes on, and myself, and Jesse Unruh. So we're all ready to go.
All right, copy that. Now, I hear you got something coming up here in a couple of weeks, a big super speedway race. Tell us about that.
Oh, yes, sir. My next 500 will be on the 23rd, Saturday, the 23rd.
All right, copy that. And that race will be broadcast live on KMA TV. Looking forward to it, Jimmy.
Oh, yes, sir. Looking forward to you doing it for us. Appreciate you and appreciate you having the Crow's Nest guys in here racing with y'all.
All right, copy that. Good luck to you, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right, Jimmy Crow out there right now in 20th, but I tell you what, he has got his soldiers up there in front, being led on by Donald Stewart. And as we just did mention, on Saturday the 23rd, Saturday afternoon, Jimmy's going to be putting on a Daytona 500. That'll be what, 196 laps? It'll be about a 4.5-hour race. Folks, going to be broadcast live here on KMA TV. I'm going to have my good friend Joel Guy up here in the booth helping me that night. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Saturday the 23rd, Saturday afternoon, I do believe that will be at 4:30 Eastern. We're going to kick that off live here on KMA TV. One more restart for Donald Stewart. Now, Donald Stewart has led 17 laps out here tonight. That's a whole lot of leading for Donald Stewart. David Anderson has led 11. A.J. McCarron has led 14. Rick Seabrand has led 1. Ben Gear has led 2. We are almost at the halfway point. Lap 45 of 100. Going to take an in-car with Ernie Williams Jr. Going to give you a bird's eye view here of what it's like to be behind the wheel of these Chevy Silverados and these Toyota Tundras as we kick off and get rolling on one more restart here in the race 4 pad 266. Pace car is in. And away we go back to Green Flag Racing. Here with the boys from KMA Racing and Crow's Nest. Lap 48 of 100 in the race for Pad. 266, 52 laps to go. 21 lead changes, 2 cautions totaling out 7 laps. And we are in car with Rusty Farrell under the rear end of the number 4 of Ben Gear. Beanie Winnie Van Camp's trying to get her done tonight. I want to give a big shout out to the boys from KMA Racing and Crow's Nuts putting on a magnificent show out here tonight, all in the name of PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. I want to thank all the drivers that have come out to join us every Saturday, all the fans that stay out there and watch us here on KMA TV. Remember, gentlemen, tonight is all in the name of PAD as we come around the number 25 of Ernie Williams Jr. Not getting much help up there on that top line. Going to drop a little ways to the back. 18 drivers still out on our lead lap tonight. John Henderson, Joel Guy, 1 lap down each. Edward Bray, 7 laps down, experiencing early on difficulties. Now, we have definitely been split apart into 2 groups. We've got a small pack of drivers here in the rear of the field. We've got Dave Casey, Jimmy Crow, Kevin Scott Nelson, Paul Witt, 224, 111, Kevin Scott, and John Henderson, possibly thinking of some sort of a strategy. John Henderson, though, 1 lap down. It's going to have to be a strategy that would involve John getting his lucky dog back. And he is in the lucky dog position. If that caution does come out again, as long as John can keep his truck clean, he will get that lucky dog. Joel Guy in wave-by position. Edward Bray in wave-by. Number 91 of Joel Guy, unfortunately solo here on lap 51 of 100. Not the place you want to be. New leader up here, we've got J.D. Crow and the number 17 still battling it up with the number 44, David Anderson. And J.D. finally able to get up there and lead a lap or 2, but unfortunately short-lived as the number 44 gives him a run for his money. Good race between J.D. Crow and David Anderson. Jesse Unruh, last week's winner, still up here into 3rd position. Donald Stewart right along in position 4. Donald Stewart seemingly liking that number 4 spot a lot tonight. It's a good spot to be. Might not want to be there on the last lap of the race, but I tell you what, right now, Donald is exactly where he wants to be. Rusty Farrell back into position 9 in the number 28. Rusty doing an awesome job. Has yet to lead any laps. Right along, being very safe, along with the number 126 of Wayne Feldman. Art Peck back into 12th position in the number 36 tonight. Gary Whitmer Sr., position 13. Gary Whitmer Jr. back into 17. Gary Whitmer Jr. is definitely playing it safe tonight, and you can't blame the guy. You want to get into a position where you're very, very comfortable. Right now, Gary Whitmer Jr. is in a very good spot. He's got Jay Dargett behind him. He's got Johnny Woodruff up in front of him. He's got Dad Whitmer 1 truck ahead of Johnny. So in a very, very good spot tonight. Gary Whitmer Jr., I tell you, that is the man I am rooting for. Won this pad race 2 weeks ago, thinking he might can do it again tonight. Jay Dargett on the outside, coming up along the side of the 117. That will put Gary Whitmer Jr. last truck in line of this pack, and this is where Gary has to hang on for dear life. You do not want to lose draft of that pack out here at Talladega. But I tell you what, folks, look at this 3 wide that's going on. A lot of 3 wide out here tonight. 5 trucks in that upper lane, trying to make that upper lane work, but just not quite going to happen. One truck drops down, leaving him to 4 up in that high lane. AJ McCarron dropping back, falling back to position 13. Now just a few laps ago, AJ was up there in the top 5. Right now he's back into 14th, up to 13th. Rusty Farrell has made his way up to 2nd position. Good to see Rusty up there. Rusty in the number 28. Get a boost from the number 126 of Wayne Feldman. Rusty and Wayne, they've been hooked up pretty much all night out here tonight. And what a job they are doing to get her done tonight. Rick and Jesse down on that inside lane. And up goes Ben Gear. Going to try to get through a little bit of 3 wide from the number 25, trying to get a boost from the number 25. Ben just kind of popped up there, almost impeding the path of the number 25. Ben wanting that 3 wide off the bat to get up there. Number 90 coming up the center alongside Donald Stewart and Ben Gear. Top line one more time, not able to get her going. But here comes Craig Kenny. And Craig Kenny moving on up into that 3rd lane. But Ben not quite able to catch his bumper. Craig Kenny in 9th position. Trying to grab a hold of the rear end of the number 36. And into the picture comes Jay Dargett. Number 57, Jay Dargett in the Mastercraft Chevy Silverado. A lot of space into these trucks. Expecting to see some 3 wide develop any time coming up. Jay Dargett trying to make his way up through that field. Get a little bit of help from Ernie Williams Jr. Number 18, A.J. McCarron, getting a boost from number 83 of Jack Walls. One more time, Ben Gear sniffing out a 3 wide position. Craig Kenny left up top to dry. Tough break there for Craig Kenny. We knew Craig would go up high, and unfortunately he went up there by himself, and that's going to cost Craig Kenny several spots. We had a little driver getting sideways right there. Looked like the number 29 of Luke Gray got a little bit loosey-goosey. Good control back onto it as Craig Kenny moves back down. Number 28 in trouble. That'll bring out that caution one more time. Taking a look at the number 28, I do believe. There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Tough break for Rusty. Looks like Rusty and Wayne. Right there it is. Tough break for Rusty. Doing everything he can to save that one there, but not quite able to make it happen. to back that up, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like a lot of carnage from an itty-bitty wreck. But I tell you what, that wreck was up there at the front. 1, 2. Ben Gear involved, Jay Durgert involved, Craig Kinney involved. That'll bring out our third caution of the night here on lap 60 of 100. Third caution of the night here in our weekly race 4 pad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, while they get them sorted out, we're going to take a couple of quick commercial breaks, and we'll be right back with you.
Yeah, 10-4, go ahead. Well, just hooking up with good teammates there, man. The 133 there, Jesse, man, he did a hell of a job pushing me there that last run. Not giving the high line the energy that they needed. But Crow's Nest Motorsports, Jack Daniels Chevrolet has been super fast out there. Pit crew's been doing an awesome job. And hopefully we can close out this deal tonight. Well, it's getting racy out here for sure, and it's getting greasy too, and people are fighting and gouging for every spot they can now. It's definitely go time. You want to put your truck in a good position here, and I'm hoping this Crow's Nest Motorsports team has done that tonight. Well, you better believe, hopefully one of us will come home with that trophy tonight, man. If it's 5 of us up here, we're going to be doing our best to make sure we get that trophy, that's for sure. All right, 10-4, thanks, guys.
Yeah, I believe I got you. That's going pretty good. Been lucky. I guess just be patient and see where it falls out, you know, and then try to hopefully pick the right line. Hey, man, appreciate it. Thanks for the host.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the race for pad 266. Rick Sabran's our race leader. David in second, Wayne in third. Jesse Unruh, last week's winner, sitting in fourth position. Donald Stewart in fifth position. Got a lot of faith in Donald tonight. Donald has been a staple up front. More drivers making their way down pit row as we are underneath our third caution of the night. And Donald looking very good out there in that truck tonight. Donald putting on the colors tonight for Crow's Nest. Crow's Nest doing a magnificent job out here tonight. AJ Macaron in seventh, JD Crow in eighth. Another driver been keeping a very close eye on tonight is Luke Gray, the number 29. A little bit of damage on the rear end of the Sinclair 29. Not going to really be a factor being in the rear. Get it up to the front, that's a factor. Front side looking good, but I tell you what, the 29, Luke Gray, been very quiet tonight, but I expect him to get very, very busy very, very soon. Kevin Scott Nelson back into 17th place along with Gary Whitmer Jr. and Gary Whitmer Sr. 19th and 20th. Johnny Woodruff there in the middle with 18th position. Joel Guy back on lead lap, position 22. Pace car is in. Rick David side by side.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air. What a takeoff on that outside lane. Number 44, David. Interesting positioning for David to stay up or stay down. He's got plenty of room. Do either. Well, now he's going to stay up as number 19, Rick, and the number 126 of Wayne Feldman come charging by. 35 laps to go in the race 4 pad, 266. It's been all about Crow's Nest out here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Top 12 consisting of Crow's Nest drivers. I'm going to tell you what, the boys from KMA Racing, they are not done yet. Gary Whitmer and Kevin Scott Nelson actually in a pretty good spot based upon the fuel mileage. Gary Whitmer Sr. hooked up with Gary Whitmer Jr. Number 29 ducks down in front of Johnny Woodruff. Huge gap in front of the number 5. Ivan Garcia back on that lead lap. Good to see that for Ivan. Ivan getting a wave by. Good job, Ivan. Jay Dargett up on the outside alongside the 117 of John Woodruff. Craig Kenny still in it. Jay Dargett 1 lap down. A lot of laps being led out here tonight by David Anderson. 19. Laps being led by David. 11 by Rick. But I tell you what, folks, you can lead 99 laps out here. And I don't mean jack unless you lead that very last one. Drivers are still going to have to make their round up green flag pit stops. Not a driver out here that's got enough fuel to make it home tonight. Double file racing. I tell you what, that 3 wide racing these boys were doing, that'll wear you out, but I think they're just taking a break right now. My prediction, but they're going to settle it down to double file racing, go into pit row one more time, come out, and it's going to be 3 wide to the end. Jesse Unruh, possibly favored to win, coming out of last week's win. John Henderson, a recent winner as well as Gary Whitmer Jr. Going to be coming up on some lap traffic here in about a quarter track position. I do believe that is the lap traffic of Joel Guy. That pack is bearing down on the 176 mile per hour truck of Joel Guy. These leaders are bearing down at 189. Joel Guy goes high. Pack rips by. Very nice drivers. Number 18, Toyota Roll Tide. Number 18 hanging on to that bottom line, AJ McCarron. Riding alongside Gary Whitmer. Donald Stewart, position 7, along with Wayne, position 6th. I'll tell you, Wayne lost his partner early on. He had been riding along pretty much all day with Rusty Farrell, and Rusty Farrell got involved in a caution. So Wayne's kind of on his own right now. Holding his own, though, for position 6th. Driving the 126. Hooters and Napa Auto Parts. Well, you can't go wrong there. Number 78, Donald Stewart, making sure that he's keeping a very close and respectable distance off of the number 126. Here in about 3 laps, we will be at the fuel window. We are at the fuel window, right at about 28 to go. This is where that strategy I had mentioned is going to come into play. Number 83 of Jack Walls. Number 25 of Ernie Williams. Up on that high lane. Rick had talked about the number 19, Jack Daniels and Crow's Nuts, and I tell you what, they are going to the front. They are to the right, even at the front all night long, and Jesse Unruh leading his 4th lap of the night. Jesse is in a very, very good spot, coming down in front of the number 44. Jesse and Ernie side by side. Ernie trying to lead his first lap of the night. Ernie coming down. Nice teamwork there between Ernie and Jesse and Jack. Ernie trying to lead his first lap. Looking good for Ernie. Here comes the number 83, Jack Walls, trying to lead his first lap of the night. And Ernie will have that one. Nice little race there between Ernie and Jack for leading lap 75. We are at that pit window. Green flag pit stops could be developing at any point in time. Gary Whitmer Jr. up to 6th position. It is go time. Gary spoke of when it is go time. Well, it's go time. He said 75. But you got to keep in mind that fuel window. Hey, big shout out there too, Over the Top Paints and Designs. Nice looking truck there being driven by the number 5 of Gary Whitmer Jr. Outside lane trying to make something happen. Number 98 taking a peek on that 3 wide. Tell you what, if the 98 will go, you believe the number 5 will go with them. Number 98 being driven by Paul Witt. Near contact between the number 98. And we've got some green flag pit stops. Green flag pit stops, here they go. On the tail end of Rick Sabrans. Caution is out. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, pit road troubles as drivers make their way into pit row. And right there it is, ladies and gentlemen. One driver at fault comes up across that track. And that would be the number 36 of Art Peck. Spins it into pit row. Tough break for a lot of drivers right there. And I tell you what, that was a hard caution, folks. Tough break for Johnny Woodruff. Spinning, flipping, rotating. Fourth caution of the night. Coming out on lap 76, right as the drivers were making their way into pit row. Tough break for Johnny. Pit row busy as can be. David Anderson started first tonight, currently in 14th, gets that front spot. AJ Macaron all the way to the back, position 18th for the number 18. Paul Witt making his way into pit row. It's a brand new race right now, folks. Every truck goes in, every truck will have enough fuel to make it around to the final stretch. So we'll have to see how it goes out here tonight. Joel Guy, 1 lap down. Johnny Woodruff, 1 lap down. Jay Dargett, 1 lap down. Craig Kinney in the number 90. He's taking a beating tonight. But I tell you what, he's still in it to win it. Ivan Garcia making his way down pit row. Back out. That will put Ernie Williams Jr. up in front. And the number 25. How about it, Ernie? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, pretty good. 3 laps led. 4th caution of the night. Are you where you want to be?
Exactly where I want to be.
Now, everybody that pitted right now, they're going to be able to make it down to that home stretch on fuel, correct?
Correct. We will be able to make it. Some of the guys got black flags, the same group that pitted with me, so I don't know what happened. I got lucky and didn't get one somehow. But a couple of them got black flags there that pitted with me at the same exact time.
Yep, that caution come out just as you were entering pit row. Once that flag comes out, That's what happened there with those flags. Tough break there. Now we've got Crow's Nest up here in a very, very good spot, but you got a couple of KMA drivers that have finally gotten their way up into the top 10. What is the strategy there for Crow's Nest?
Strategy is for a teammate to get behind me or in front of me, and we make sure that we get a checker flag for one of us. We're going to try hard, we're going to race clean, and hopefully we get the job done.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've been putting on a hell of a show tonight. Go get him. Good luck to you, Ernie.
Thanks, sir.
Ernie Williams Jr. out there in front, but I tell you what, coming up from behind, we've got the 111 of John Henderson. How about it, John Henderson? Have you got a copy?
Go ahead.
All righty, good to see you up there in position 5. You finally getting the boys up to the front, are you?
Yeah, I was laid back there, and, I said, you know what, it's time to have a little bit of fun toward the end of the race, so I started marching to the front.
All righty, well, I tell you what, you got some good help up there with Gary Whitmer Jr. and Gary Whitmer Sr. With everybody being on the same fuel load right now, we're going to be looking at about a 19-lap shootout. What's your plan of attack?
Well, I think I'm just going to try to find a friend out here and go with it. I'm sure as soon as the green flag drops that we're going to go 3 wide, so it's going to be a tough one for sure. These guys are going to be good.
All right, copy that. Now I tell that Kicking Asphalt, you and a few guys have got a invitational series coming up starting pretty soon. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. It's going to be a great series. Dave Cadia's put that together, and we're going to be running Monday nights, day, night, numerous tracks, numerous cars. Or actually, it's the Gen 6 car. So looks to be exciting.
All righty, we're going to be looking forward to seeing that action. Good luck to you, John Henderson. Bring the guys with you.
Thank you, sir.
John Henderson in position 5, Gary Whitmer in position 6. Gary Whitmer Jr. up to position 4. Big shout out there to the boys from Kicking Asphalt. And they've got Kevin Scott and Dave Acacia coming along their side. Well, hell, they've all joined the party up there tonight. How about it, Kevin Scott? You got a copy?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
A little bit of a rough night for the 224. Seeing you out there in a couple of cautions, but you made your way to the front with 20 to go. What do you think?
I'm just hoping we can kind of stay together here. I'm kind of worried about the Crow's Nest hooking up.
Well, I tell you what, you definitely got some stiff competition out there, but you're in good sorts here with Gary Whitmer, Dave, John. We were talking to John about his strategy. What's your strategy?
We're getting to the point now where I'm going to try to stay with Dave and John, our normal teammates, but we can't be greedy right now. I'm going to hook up with whoever I can.
Alrighty, copy that. Good luck to you and the guys over at KA.
Awesome. We're going to try to bring it home for our team here.
All right, sounds good. Good luck to you.
Thanks, man.
Lap 80 of 100, 20 to go. This is where it's going to get dicey. This is where it's going to get fun. Taking a look at our running order. Hopefully your favorite driver is up there in our top 5. Going to be seeing a lot of 3-wide action coming up. Looking at about a 19-lap shootout. Underneath our 4th caution of the night, I would not rule out one or more caution, folks. Anything can happen out here at Talladega. Still looking at 23 drivers on that lead lap. Crow's Nest Motorsports putting on one great show tonight. KMA Racing nipping at their heels. Joel Guy, unfortunately, in pit road taking on repairs. Johnny Woodruff. Johnny has been a definite fighter all night, but has fallen victim to the last caution, falling 1 lap down. Wayne Feldman, 23rd driver in line. Now Wayne was just up there in the front just a few minutes ago, but unfortunately has fallen to the rear. Jay Dargett, position 22. And Rick Sabrands. Now Rick has fallen back to 21st. And we had talked to Rick earlier on about the Jack Daniels number 19. From front to rear, victim of a caution. Same situation for Donald Stewart. He is back into 19th position. Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a race. It seems that the rear of the field and the front of the field has totally flipped positions. Jimmy Crow, owner of Crow's Nest, sitting in 17th position, but he's in good shape. He's got A.J. McCarron, J.D. Crow, and Jesse Unruh. Sitting in 14th, David Anderson in 13th. Now, David Anderson was tonight's pole sitter, and right now he's in 13th spot. Drivers lined up, double file, getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Talladega in the race for pad 266. Seeing a lot of great paint jobs out here tonight. Want to give a big shout out to all of the painters out here tonight. Takes a lot of skilled effort to do the paint jobs that the drivers do. I want to especially give a shout out to John Hedrick and Over the Top Paints and Designs. Gary Whitmer driving the Over the Top Paints and Designs number 5 Mickey Kaleni Foundation, and he is in position 4. Going back to Green Flag Racing, drivers gearing down. 19 laps to go. Can they finish it up caution free here at Talladega?
Green flag.
Green flag is in the air and away we go. Ernie Williams on the low line. Paul Witt in the center. Gary Whitmer Jr. trying everything he can. But Gary Whitmer falling back. 52 in trouble. 2 drivers off track. That'll bring out a caution. Not quite sure what happened back here. We're going to take a look at it, but it was ugly. I'll tell you what, folks. We do know that the number 5 of Gary Whitmer seemingly losing power. Something happened with the number 5. I'm not sure what it was. But he dropped back. Collision between the 224 and the number 52. Into the number 90. 44 into the rear, into the 5 into the 17. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, you hate to see that happen. That had to be a mechanical failure. Not sure exactly what happened. But the way that the number 5 was dropping back had to be a failure of mechanics or something. This shift, something went terribly wrong out here on this restart for the number 5. That will be our 5th caution of the night. We had said earlier about cautions breeding cautions, ladies and gentlemen. And indeed, cautions have bred cautions tonight in the race for pad. Now, when there was a little bit of a stunner up there Now, with everybody being on track here with the fuel, I don't expect anybody to make their way into pit row. That would kind of be a wasted effort at this point in time to make their way into pit row. So we're going to take a moment to talk to Dave Acacia and see if Dave can shed some light on exactly what happened out here. How about it, Dave?
Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm a little perplexed, though. Now, I've heard about cautions breeding cautions, but what happened there?
I think they went 3 wide behind us coming out of 2. I was just concentrating on what I was doing. I had my teammate in front of me. You know, it's late in the race. We're working our way to the front. We're exactly where we want to be. So, you know, we're looking ahead. We're not looking behind.
All right, well, I tell you what, we have had a couple of ugly cautions right there. But Dave Casey seems to be in pretty good shape, along with John Henderson. Is it going to be up to you and John to get her done tonight?
Yeah, I think Kevin got caught up in that. So he's going to be back. It's late in the race. Unless we can get him up here, it's going to be me and John working together.
All right, copy that. Now, I tell you what, I was talking to John a little bit about your invitational series. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that coming up.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a good time. We're going to actually duplicate, but on a weekly basis, the Peak Antifreeze series. We're going to do the exact same amount of laps, same fuel load. We're starting the day after the Daytona 500, and we end the weekend of the Daytona night race in July, but that will be our Miami Championship weekend.
Alrighty, I tell you what, it sounds like you're going to have a pretty good time, and I know you've worked really hard putting that together, so that's running about a, what, 13, 14-week series?
I'm sorry, I had somebody talking in my ear. Say it again.
That'll be about a 13-week series?
18 weeks.
18? Wow.
18 weeks.
That's a lot of races. Well, I tell you what, we appreciate you putting that on. Hopefully, we're going to go out of here caution-free tonight, but nonetheless, you've stayed out of trouble, and you've gotten up here to the front with a teammate. Give him hell, Dave.
Yep, we're going to give it all we got. It's go time.
Dave Casey out there on that position 5. Now, again, you know, we talked about cautions breeding cautions. Works out for some, not so much for others. It's worked out pretty well for Ivan Garcia. Now, Ivan Garcia, once upon a time, was 1 lap down. Worked hard to get that lap back, and right now, Ivan Garcia up into 6th position. How about it, Ivan?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Now, we saw you were 1 lap down many, many laps ago, but look at you now.
Yeah, right. Hey, you know, save the equipment, like always, and what happens at the end.
Well, I tell you what, you sound like you're a little bit nervous. Are you feeling good up there in 6th position?
Yeah, I got a little cold, you know, and sore throat. I can speak.
All right, copy that. Well, I tell you what, Ivan, I won't keep you. We know we got something going around in the world, but nonetheless, congratulations on getting your lap back, and you're up in here in 6th. Show us how to get her done.
Yeah, before we hope so with the teammates here. You know, we should push hard, and you know, we're gonna make it. And thank you for the fans out there, and thank you for KMA and Kicking Asphalt and everybody involved. Let's have a good race. Yeah.
All right, good luck to you, Ivan.
Thank you, sir.
Ivan Garcia, one of my favorite drivers. We've got Jack Walls up there on that front line in the number 83. And I tell you what, he's still in a very, very good spot up here. These cautions come out back to back. It kind of throws everybody off for a little bit of a loop. Really took everybody by surprise. Definitely did not see that happening. Checking back on Gary Whitmer Jr. Gary Whitmer Jr. in a he's back on that track, position 22 though, and he was up here in 3rd or 4th, along with Gary Whitmer Sr., both drivers back in the 21st and 22nd. Still not quite sure what happened up there on that front line. But if we talk to Gary one more time, hopefully it'll be up on a podium finish. But Gary, he's got a lot of work and a lot of ground to get back. With 15 to go, it can be done. Question is, will it be done? If anybody can do it, I'm sure that Gary Whitmer Jr. can get her done tonight. Drivers taking their assigned positions side by side. Lap 85 of 100. 33 lead changes, 5 cautions totaling 18 laps. This is the Saturday night race for Pad 266. Still looking at 24 drivers on that lead lap. This is still really anybody's game, folks. Don't count anybody out until it's over. We're going to be looking at Jack Walls and Ernie Williams trying to protect. John Henderson hooking up with Dave Acacia and Ivan Garcia. John Henderson restarting down into that inside lane in the 111 with Dave on his tail. And they've got some steep competition between Jack and Ernie. And Jack and Ernie, they're going to have to protect. In order to pass these drivers, somebody's going to have to go 3 wide. And it's simple as that. And we've seen these drivers are not shy about going 3 wide. Another driver I'm keeping my eye on is Donald Stewart. Donald Stewart has been front to back to front, front to back to front. Right now, Donald Stewart in 9th position. Last week's winner, Jesse Unruh, sitting back in 16th. Pace car is in. Close eye on the 111 and the number 20. Identical trucks. Down on the inside lane. And with John Henderson and Dave Acacia. Onto the rear end of the number 83, Jack Walls. Outside lane, Ernie Williams and Paul Witt. Laps to go, 13 lucky laps. Inside lane, moving to be more powerful. Looked like the 111 might have been thinking about squeezing that middle. Plenty of room for him to go up and take that middle, but it would be risky. 20 and 111 hooked up, bumper to bumper. Keeping cameras on our top 5. 12 laps to go. It's going to be awful difficult for that 111 to get around that number 83 down onto that inside lane. It's not going to happen. He's going to have to get up there into that middle lane, find a way to take it 3 wide. He's got the brake, but he will not leave the number 20 of Dave Casey. Caution is out. Now back that up, we do know that Jay Dargett was involved in it, making contact with Jesse Unruh, unfortunately. And take a look at that one more time. And right there it is as the number 57 comes up into the front of Jesse Unruh. And another big one out here tonight at the weekly race for Pat. I tell you what, folks, it has been an extremely eventful race, to say the least. The entire back half of that field wiped out tonight. Drivers are beginning to catch the field and get it all sorted out. And I tell you what, I am honestly a little bit of tongue-tied. Cautions are really starting to fly out here in the pad race as these drivers do get worn out. Ernie and Jack catching up to the pace car here on lap 90 of 100. Going to get a talk in with Joel Guy, our race admin. How about it, Joel Guy? Have you got a copy?
I got a copy, Scott.
All right, now, unfortunately, I see that your race is over as you are 12 laps down. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was, got sick tonight.
Oh, I tell you what, it's going around, brother. Do you feel like talking to me for a few?
Yeah, I'll talk to you for a few.
All right, well, I tell you what now, the cautions are kind of coming out thicker than flies around a doghouse, but I'll tell you what, what's going on down there?
It's getting close to the time to run for the checker flag, and everybody's getting aggressive, and they're just not holding their line and having to check up, and just normal hard racing right now.
Well, and I tell you what, Joe, you know, it's hard to watch because a lot of drivers, they've really pushed hard tonight. You know, we've seen Gary Whitmer Jr. pushing hard tonight. We just saw Jesse Unruh take a hard hit up to the wall by another driver. He has worked very, very hard tonight. Donald Stewart has been a contender all night. He's now in 10th. Gary Whitmer Sr. worked his way up there to the front. Unfortunately, got caught up into some messes up there going on. It's still anybody's game, is my point.
That is correct. It is anybody's game. I wouldn't even begin to tell you, give you an idea who's going to win this one now.
Well, I tell you what, we are looking at Jack Walls, Ernie Williams Jr., first and second. But what's interesting here is we've got John Henderson, Dave Acacia, and Ivan Garcia running for a third, fifth, and sixth. And we know that John and Dave, they're just going to be glued together. It's simple as that.
Oh, absolutely, they're going to be glued together. If Ivan gets with them, hopefully they'll have enough of a train to go around to the outside, and get to the front with at least one, if not two, of the cars at the checker flag.
Well, now what I was watching on that last restart up here with John and Dave, they were down on the inside lane, and the only way for that inside lane to get around that front runner in that inside lane, he's going to have to shoot for the middle, which means he's going to pretty much have to make a hole.
That's correct. Somebody's got to make a hole for them to be able to get in to go up. So hopefully they can find a hole and get to the outside and get around them.
Up lap 91 of 100, 9 to go, soon to be 8. Do you think this will be our last caution, Joel?
No, I don't. Right now is the time that the crew chief's hollered, bring me the trophy or the steering wheel, and these guys are aggressive enough that that's probably what's going to happen.
All righty, copy that. All right, I appreciate the information, Joel. I'll let you get back to your duties as admin.
Thank you, Scott. Talk to you after the race.
All righty, Joel Guy having his hands full as being race admin out there. Time for one more quick interview. How about it, Jack? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4.
Alrighty, well, you're up there in front. You've led 10 laps. You got about 8 to go. Do you think you're going to lead the most important one?
No, I'm not sure about that. It's not good being first on these last restarts.
Now, I tell you what, we have had 3 quick cautions here. A couple of them were actually back-to-back. Do you think we're done with the cautions?
I don't know. From hearing these drivers talk on the side channels, I don't know about that.
All right, well, I tell you what, it's like I was talking to Joel, and Joel said, you know, bring home the steering wheel or don't come home. So we're going to be seeing some 3 wide. Are you prepared for it up there? You said you're not really comfortable on pole.
Yeah, it's probably going to be wreckers or checkers. We'll see.
All righty, good luck to you, and good luck to the guys at Crow's Nest.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, checkers or wreckers. Well, I tell you what, if that's on the extremely last lap, that might be kind of fun to watch, but I'm not sure how some of these drivers are going to feel about that. We are late in the race. Time is ticking away. Fatigue is wearing on these drivers as well. Taking one look at our running order here. Still looking at several drivers wanting to get up there to the front. Keeping a very close eye on Donald Stewart. Keeping a close eye on Ernie Williams. Keeping a close eye on Dave Acacia and John Henderson. This is Talladega. This is 190 miles per hour in the Chevy Silverados and the Toyota Tundras. We are estimating about a 6-lap shootout. And in 6 laps, you're running out of time. You got to get her done. David Casey and John Henderson still lined up, nose to tail. That will put Ernie and Paul on the outside. Ivan Garcia on the outside. Donald Stewart in 9th on the outside lane. Good positioning for Donald. But Jack said, you know, he's not real thrilled with the spot he's going to be in. You don't want to be in first place on a shootout. Well, you know, I don't know if I agree with that or not. It depends upon who you've got in your rearview mirror. And right now, we've got Jack Walls up there staring down 2 KMA, KA drivers that want very desperately to get up there to the front. So we're just going to have to see what happens here. I know Jack Walls will need to be keeping one eye on his rear view mirror very, very carefully. Hopefully, this will be the last caution of the night. 6 cautions tonight, totaling out 23 laps. Appreciate you hanging out with the drivers and myself tonight in the weekly race for PAD. Actually had an unwanted visitor up here in the booth. My new kitten came knocking and chewing on my microphone cord. Apologize for the loss of broadcast there for about 4 minutes. Pace car is in. 6 to go at the line.
Green flag is out.
Green flag is out, and away we go. 111 all over the rear end of the number 83, 98 all over the 25. Nice double file start. John Henderson down on that inside giving all he's got to the number 83 of Jack Walls. There may be a break developing if the number 20 can get past the number 25. Not going to happen, as the 25 and 20 are neck and neck. $111 a little loose, 20 following. Dave and John hooked up solid, 6 to go. 25 has lost his pusher. Back comes the number 98, 72. Nobody's going double. Or nobody's going triple. They're all double. Nobody's triple yet. 111 still looking like he's wanting to get up in front of that 25 up front. But does not want to leave the number 20 up, David Casey. 5 to go here at Talladega. You know, for Jack saying he wasn't real happy with his placement, you know, Jack's doing a really good job up here in front. He's just got to hang on for a few more laps. Oh, we got a Donald Stewart up into the wall. That is Donald Stewart biting the wall. Donald Stewart making his way down into pit row. No caution will fly. We're still green flag here at Talladega, lap 96 of 100. Jack Walls still leading the race, hanging on for dear life. Hanging onto that steering wheel like a fat man hanging onto a donut. Ivan Garcia going 3 wide. Nobody to go with Ivan Garcia though. And we will have one more caution. Ivan Garcia and the number 117 of Johnny Woodruff involved in a one more caution. Tough break for Ivan Garcia and Johnny Woodruff. That will be our 7th caution of the night. Leaving us with 3 to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, while we sort all this out, we are going to take one more quick commercial break because pad is that important. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, underneath our 7th caution of the night. And I tell you what, I do believe that that is going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go on and stick around and ride out these 2 more laps. We are on lap 98 of 100. Should not be seeing a 1-lap shootout. Pretty sure this will end it, ladies and gentlemen. And if that is the case, we're going to be looking at Ernie Williams Jr., John Henderson, and Jack Walls. Still waiting for those official results to come in. But I tell you what a race it has been out here tonight, folks. 33 lead changes, 7 cautions, totaling 25 laps. Probably a little bit heavy on the cautions, but I tell you what, a good race. Nonetheless, we've seen a lot of action. We've got a chance to talk to a lot of drivers out here tonight. Got to learn a little bit about Pad. Learned a whole lot about Crow's Nest. Drivers are 2 to go. Gonna go on and talk to Ernie Williams.
Like I told you.
How about it, Ernie? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Doing good. Well, unfortunately, I do believe that is the end of tonight's race. It will end under caution. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We will end under caution like we stand right now.
Well, I tell you what, you're bringing home a 3rd place, and you led 7 laps out here tonight. You deserved it. You pretty much owned it up there with your Brotherhood of Crow's Nest. Talk to me about your night tonight.
Well, the Crow's Nest guys luckily we qualified around each other, and so we got to pretty much run around each other pretty much all night. So it's been a good night for all in all. Then about lap 77, we had an issue on pit road, and it kind of got us broke up a little bit there. And me and Jack got out of the pits way before them guys did, and they got black flags, and we had an issue there. But other than that, everything come out good. We have a few cautions there towards the end. Them guys couldn't get up with us, but I think Crow's Nest led every lap, so I think we'll take that and be happy with the 1-3 finish.
All right, well, I tell you what, you got nothing to be ashamed of out here. You got a lot to be proud of. Great bunch of guys out here at Crow's Nest. Congratulations, Ernie Williams.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you next week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, pulling off 2nd position, we have got John Henderson. How about it, John? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, unfortunately, we are going to end up underneath caution, but I tell you what, Dave got you up there to 2nd at 2 and 4 for you and Dave. Talk to me about your night.
Well, I tell you what, like I said, it started out in the back, being a little patient. We got separated on those starts. I'm not sure what those were about, but I got a little worried, so I started running to the front. And I had about another half a lap, and I was going to go to the outside because I'd cleared the guy on the high line, and well, the caution come out and kind of ruined all that, but that's racing.
No, I tell you what, we did run a little bit heavy on the cautions tonight, 7 cautions, but we know that none of it was due to distracted driving. What do you think some of the reasons for those 7 cautions were?
Well, I think a lot of it is some people are very comfortable with 3-wide racing and some aren't. And no matter how good you are at 3-wide racing, if the people around you aren't comfortable, then that causes a problem.
All right, sounds good. All right, big shout out there too. Kicking Asphalt, you and Dave in Twinkie trucks, as I'll call them, your twins. You're looking sharp out there. Good job tonight, John.
Thank you, sir.
John Henderson for his 2nd place, but the man of the hour, Jack Walls. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, he earned it. He deserved it. Here he is. How about it, Jack?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good as you take your final lap underneath caution. Sad that we did finish up under caution. I was hoping to see one more round of that 3 wide. But tell us about your night as you're finishing up your lap.
I was just trying to stay out of trouble, and I got close to the front earlier on. Then I had a bad pit stop. Was going to pit, and then a caution came out, and I decided to run through and not pit. And then I started in the back, and I guess it's just luck that I got up front here. I got to thank all the Crow's Nest drivers and Jimmy Crow and his dad for putting on all those races at Talladega and Daytona. If it wasn't for those guys, I don't think we'd have the quality of drivers that we have today on iRacing.
Well, I tell you what, I do hope you had a lot of fun out here. But I do want to talk to you a little bit about the cautions. We did seem to have a lot of cautions, and we saw a lot of 3-wide early on, but a lot of those cautions came out as a result of when you guys were going into pit row. Was pit row slick? Were people just not paying attention? Because it happened pretty much to everybody tonight. What was the deal with pit row?
Yeah, I think the tires are worn, and so many cars trying to pit at the same time. It's just very hard to do, and try and keep out of trouble. It's just too hard, I think, with that many cars.
Well, I tell you what, you put on a great show out here tonight, and I got to give hats off to Crow's Nest. We saw a lot of teamwork up here. You go on and take your victory lap, get out there, do some donuts. Congratulations to Crow's Nest, and congratulations to Jack Walls.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the broadcast.
All right, copy that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Walls wins at Talladega Super Speedway. 7 cautions underneath, finished underneath caution. It happens. It's racing, but I tell you what, again, we learned a lot of information out here tonight about PAD, a lot about Crow's Nest, a lot about KMA Racing. We're going to do it again next Saturday night, same time, same place. Hope you'll tune in. We're going to flash up those race results, and we're going to make our way on out of here. But a big shout out and congratulations there to Jack Walls of Crow's Nest Motorsports out there taking those well-deserved donuts. Appreciate you viewing. This is KMA TV. I am Scott Kolovic, and we're working our way out the door.